What up, y'all? This KO. I'm from Enid, Oklahoma, and I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastards.
Used to try to play them friendly, but I can't no more. KO, what you want? Tryna get paid.
All right, today we got KO jumping off the porch with us today.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm chilling, man. It's a pleasure to have you on the porch with us today.
Yeah, man, I'm hyped. Thank y'all for having me, for real. This shit is dope.
No problem. So tell us, what you out here working on in Atlanta?
I just been moving around. I did Trapping in the Basement with Bigger Rankin yesterday. Dirty Glove Bastards today. You know, just moving around, trying to get people familiar with who I am in the Atlanta circuit, and you know, just trying to get my name out here.
That's real. So tell me, what's life like in Oklahoma City?
Okay, so Oklahoma City is like the capital of Oklahoma. I'm actually from a small town, like an hour and a half from the capital, called Enid, Oklahoma. So it's like, that's really a town, like small. You got like 2 main streets, and the whole city you could drive through in like a 15-minute period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm from the middle of nowhere, for real. So it's real, it's dead out there. I mean, you know, the place I'm from is like one of the meth capitals. It's like, there's a bunch of meth heads out there. Like, it's not a lot of black people. The few that it is, most of them go to jail or be in a cycle or some stuff like that. So, you know, that's how I go. It's just.
For real. So how would you describe your childhood coming up?
You know, coming up, I was raised by my granny. My mama, she was one of those people out in Enid that was, you know, selling drugs, trying to provide and all of that. And she ended up getting locked up when I was like 6. And I spent the rest of my life with my granny until I was like 13. So I got into a lot of trouble in school, like just being rebellious and, you know, not really having no guidance for real. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. You know, it's like I said, it's the middle of nowhere, just finding your way out there. I think like being from the middle of nowhere, I was telling some people yesterday, like that's what really, I thank God for it, because that like broadened my horizons with like my imagination and my songwriting skills. Because it's like, when you don't see too much of nothing, you imagine all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like what the world is outside of where you at. So it's like just coming from Enid, Oklahoma, and getting to Oklahoma City, the capital, and like getting my name known out there and being known in like the mix of rappers. Like if you come to Oklahoma and they ask who really out here working, I'm one of the names that come up. And being from where I'm from, like that's a big deal, because I'm, like I said, I'm from nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's, like I said, it's real dead out there. It ain't no resources. We not country bimmers. We not shucking corn and all of that, riding horses. It's like, it's a real place where real shit happens. So, I mean, you know, it's just, it's Oklahoma, man.
For sure. So talk about growing up with your mother, who also, like you said, partook in some of the things that was going on in her environment. You know what I'm saying? Your mom was a pimp. Your mom also sold dope. She a real gangster.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So how was it growing up with a mother like that?
I mean, from real young, like I said, my mama she was a trap star. She was selling drugs. That's what she was on. Like whenever the crack era, she just hit the ground running. You know what I'm saying? So she had just had us. Like my daddy wasn't around a lot, so she was like, you know, I got 4 kids, I gotta feed them. It ain't no 9 to 5 that's gonna do that shit. So she still wanted us to not go without, so she did what she had to do. But yeah, she got locked up when I was young, and just us being people who didn't have money like that, like it was far few and in between that I get to talk to her on the phone or go visit her or stuff like that. So it's like just learning to kind of like find your way in life without that type of guidance. That's the stuff that kind of like molded me. You know what I'm saying? Like I had an older sister, but whenever my mama got locked up, we got split up. We wasn't all together. So it's like just little stuff that made my sister grow up quick. So whenever she could engage with me, like teach me about life and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the gist of how that went. Like with not having her, it just made everybody in my life more resourceful. Like who's gonna teach me this lesson? Who's gonna help develop me from this part of my life? Like it was that type of time, so yeah.
For sure. So when would you say you jumped off the porch?
Shit. It's not really like, I don't even describe it as like jumping off the porch. It's like real life starts to hit you once you get out here and money becomes the objective of survival. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody want to get a job, pay their rent, try to survive, but it's like some of us desire to have more than that. Like I don't want to just work a 9 to 5 and be stuck at a desk job my whole life. Like I ain't out here trying to like sell it like, oh, I'm some street gay. It's not that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's real life. The people who went through messed up situations and then still try to find their way and survive out here. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's about building like generational wealth for my family. You know what I mean? Like making some money out here, finding a way to do it a legit way. Like I had street people in my life who like, they got life in prison. Some of them died. Like that's real life for people who played outside. So I never looked at that as something that was like, I want to do that and glorify that shit to be cool. Cause it's like, there's people, like I was telling, like I don't know if I'm gonna see them people no more on this side. You know what I'm saying? So that make you look at life totally different.
For real. So what would you say is the biggest life lesson you learned so far?
Whenever I saw like my big cousin get life, who I kind of like looked up to my whole life, he sold drugs like big time. Like first time I ever seen some real money was through him. Like he was trapping and he came home with a bag and had like 30 racks in it and just threw it on the bed and started like counting it. And I had never seen that much money in my life. So I told myself, I was like, when I'm in 8th grade, I'm gonna drop out of school and try to sell drugs because I want to be like my big cousin. Like, but he ended up getting caught up in this situation with a murder and he ended up getting life in prison. And like, this was somebody that was like, he was like a superstar in my eyes, you know what I'm saying? So to see him be in a situation like that and just be fucked up out here and never see him on this side from when I was a kid, that kind of just, it made my entire outlook of life totally different. It was like, that's the shit that really pushed me to be like a stand-up civilian, like for real.
So when would you say you started making music?
I started making music with a purpose when I was like 16. You know what I'm saying? Like I had been rapping and doing poetry since I was like 12, 13. Like, you know, I used to get, like I said, I got in trouble in school a lot. And then the summer school programs, they'd be like writing your journal, how you feel, you know, to keep you from like lashing out, being angry, whatever. So slowly but surely that turned into poetry. My big brother, like he used to be in the B&E game. He used to break in people's houses and steal shit and bring me back like the cool shit, PlayStations, radios, all that shit. So one time he bought me this boombox and it had Eve, Rough Riders First Lady in it. Like that was my first encounter with like, nah, this is the hardest shit I've ever heard. I want to do this shit. So after I was writing poetry and I got a hold of that album, it kind of just turned into rap and everything else just kind of like shifted from there.
That's real. So what motivated you to start taking music serious?
It's like I said, it's not a lot in Enid, but I was making enough noise to where people was like, nah, what you doing is different. You need to like take that shit serious. Like get out here and see what you can do with that for real. But we stuck in Enid, it ain't no type of executives, no music shit, nothing like that out there. It's like that music ain't going no farther than up the block. You know what I'm saying? So once I got older and left for college, like I went to a town called Langston, like hour and some change from where I was from, like, and that's more black people. It's like the HBCU in Oklahoma, and it's like a mix of people from Chicago, they from all over the place, like Florida, everywhere. Like, you know how I be in school, like whenever people go D1, but they might mess up their shot and they'll end up at a school like that, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of people from all over the place out there. But just rapping and trying to like push myself out there and finding more new people who's not the people from your block to say, you know, they don't gotta fuck with you. If the music not good to them, they ain't gonna say it is. But it's like, I kept getting the same reaction, like, no, this shit is good. You need to keep pushing, you need to keep going. And like, slowly but surely, now it's turning into something. So just steady keeping the grind, like it made a difference. Straight
up. So how did you get the name KO?
My big cousin had a studio at his mama's house. And I was like 15. They had me come over there. They was like doing their first session ever. And everybody was rapping. I had my 16 and I was ready to go. And like, after I killed it, like I bodied everybody on the song. And he was just like, yeah, cuz you knocking them out on the track. We gonna call you KO, this and that. Like the shit just stuck. Everybody just called me that from that day forward. Like, that just been my name ever since.
That's cold. So what do you feel like brings the best out of you and your music?
With my music, I'm really like I'm a vibe person, you know what I'm saying? I like the art of being able to like tell stories with my music, you know what I'm saying? Like I really enjoy the art of songwriting, like people who got real music that's about like real shit and you telling stories and I feel like when I hear your song, that shit is like watching a movie, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I always try to see the most creative way to present a situation in my music. So that'd be my goal every time. Like that's the shit that light my fire. Like what can I say in this song, the way that I say it, like how I enunciate my words to make people be like, damn, I never heard no shit like this before. That'd be my goal every time.
Straight up. So what's your thoughts on the music industry right now? How would you describe your thoughts on the rap game?
Shit, right now it's like, it's all based in like algorithms and TikTok and like the simplistic shit. Like I was talking to this young nigga one time and he was telling me, he was like, you know, with all due respect, your music is good, but it's like, nobody really is, he was like, it's played out. He was like, people not making music like that no more. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't want to have to sit and figure out like bar for bar what you talking about. They want the simple shit. They want a good beat, something that they can bop to. But it's like, I can't lose faith and feel like it's not people out there, audience who still love good music that holds meaning. It's not just gonna be hot for this year, but like 10 years, if you run back and play that shit, it'd be like, I still feel that way that I felt about it 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of this music we not gonna feel that way about. It's like the microwave generation of TikTok, is it that little bounce, it was cool for that moment, but whenever you grow up, it's like, and you play that music back, it's some shit that's gonna have you like, that was some bullshit we was listening to back then, you know what I'm saying? And I don't never wanna make music like that. It's like, I always want people to wanna hear what I had to say. Like for me, I love people like Jay-Z, Erykah Badu, Beyonce, Jill Scott, like, so, but I always care about what they have to say. You know what I'm saying? Like they evolving with their music. Like if I hear that shit in 20, 30 years, I'm gonna feel the same way about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of music that I want to make. Whether they say it's played out, it's not cool to try to be lyrical or present like stories no more. I'm gonna always try to do that. Like it still hold value to me and how I listen to music as a consumer.
That's real. So what would you say is the biggest risk you took for your career that paid off?
That paid off? I mean, everything right now is still an investment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in Oklahoma. It ain't no resources. It ain't no way to reach a real audience. Like, you got to get out here and get your feet on the ground. Like, some of the shit that I did this weekend sitting here talking to y'all, like, this is a big investment for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people from where I'm from gonna see this shit, and this shit look like I made it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, it's still all work in progress. It's all investments. Like, that's what everything is that I'm doing. It's like, I feel like I'm taking all the risk right now. Like, I think I'm gonna see the payoff here soon, but it's like right now, this is the groundwork. I don't feel like anything that I've done has made me feel like I jumped to the heights. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's still happening. I'm not there yet.
For sure. How would you describe your grind as an independent artist?
Shit, I think a step above a whole lot of motherfuckers. If I'm real, like, I'm still, me and my managers, like, on the old school standard. Like, we do flyers, posters. Like, we want to be in your face with it. Like, even if you don't tap in, just seeing my face so many times that it'd be like, damn, let me see what the fuck she talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just, how much footwork are you really willing to do? And I feel like I do a hell of a lot of it. Like, I'm from Oklahoma. I'm out here in Atlanta chopping it up with y'all. Like, that's just a testament to how far that shit can take you if you really try. Like,
straight up. Y'all heard it from KO herself.
Real shit.
She already told me, like, in Oklahoma, though, y'all don't be shucking no corn or nothing. I really thought y'all be on that, you know what I'm saying? I really thought them niggas be out there shucking corn and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Man. They be saying shit like that, like we out there on dirt roads riding horses. And I'm not gonna tell you, like, it's not none of that. Like, you can't ride too far east to see a motherfucker on a horse on a dirt road, because that's
so
real.
y'all do be shucking corn?
Okay, they do, but it's not like,
okay,
that's not who we are. Like,
I'm bullshit.
Yeah, man.
So let's talk about the music scene back home in Oklahoma, right? How would you describe it?
Right now, it's bubbling right now. There's a lot of people outside doing their thing. We got a lot of females and a lot of niggas on the grind right now. Like, everybody, I feel like with Oklahoma, is so many people on the ground working right now. All it takes is one of us to set the standard. Like, the same way that they did in Atlanta. If somebody pop, they gonna come back and look for something that sound like that, find something else, and then the next person go, and then the next thing you know, we establishing a sound from where we from, like the middle of nowhere. Like, wouldn't nobody even think about that shit. Same shit with Detroit, like Babyface Ray and Icewear Vezo. Like, all these niggas start coming out of nowhere, but Detroit has a sound, like they having a moment. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what's gonna happen back home. So, I mean, shit, we all out there grinding, doing our thing. Somebody gonna get they look. Like, it gotta pop some sort of way.
Straight up. So why do you feel people overlook the talent that comes out of Oklahoma?
Shit, our music scene, just like the state itself, like, you know how they consider Oklahoma like a flyover state. Nobody's stopping here. There's no money for real, no business here. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't in oil or some shit like that, you really ain't got no business in Oklahoma. Like, it's not a lot going on. I feel like, it's like I've been saying this whole interview, like, the lack of resources. There's nobody to hear you out or to get your shit to nobody. Like, those type of people are not where we at. It's the steps like this that kind of like build us and set us apart and make the shit different. Like, coming to meet people like y'all, it's like, maybe if you hear what I do, that gets to somebody else and that gets to 3 more people, and you never know where that shit go. It depends on the steps that you make and the hands that you shake and where that shit'll take you. But we ain't gonna get it where we at, because it don't matter how many hands you shake, them people don't got the reach. You feel me? So you gotta get up out of there. Like, it's nothing there for us to, like, we ain't got no life vest. There's nobody to save us. We all just out there doing our thing and hoping something gonna come through and make that shit pop. But it's making its way slowly.
Straight up. Talk to us about the inspiration behind your single, Pull Up Part 2.
Pull Up Part 2 is one of my R&B songs. Like, I rap and I sing, and Pull Up Part 2 was just one of the ones where, as a single on my album, I really loved it because it was the first time that I figured out how to do, like, 3-part harmony. So it's like, it's giving sexy, but it's still like a bop. It got that rap bounce to it. You know what I'm saying? So it was something that I wanted to give that was, like, reminiscent of, like, 90s R&B vibe. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was pretty much what that one was about. Just a vibe. That's what all the R&B shit that I do is all about, creating like a vibe. That's it.
Straight up. What about Grind and Cry?
Grind and Cry was one of my singles that was like, it was like a fuck you to the haters and like my friends who wasn't supporting the campaign. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you come up with this idea that everybody around you want to see you win. They gonna support you if you go outside and try to do something. Like, if I've been in this neighborhood my whole life and it's like I'm gonna open up a barbecue restaurant tomorrow, everybody from where I'm from, they eat barbecue, they gonna support me, but that's not how this shit go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start looking a little too good. The pictures is too nice. Your outfit was too nice the last time they see you, and be like, oh, you think you somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, so Grind and Cry was one of them songs where it was like, nah, I work my ass off, but I go through all the emotions with this shit too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of bullshit to come with it, so.
That's the real one. So what can you tell us about your recent project in the meantime?
In the meantime is in my opinion like a compilation album for like those same people I was telling you about earlier, like the people on that grind from Oklahoma. It was like a big moment for like me to try to creatively step into their world and bring them into mine and just try to put that stamp on the city of everybody who was really working like I was working. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm tapped in with you and I see you, like I'm not one of the people who gonna withhold the compliment. I'm gonna let you know I fuck with what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And try to reach out and get something done. Like. And that's pretty much what that project was, just a moment to get Oklahoma behind me. That's the shit that like really established me in Oklahoma City that everybody tapped into, because I got people from every side of town, different types of Bloods, Crips, whoever, like different sets, everybody. Like I got music with all the people who was just really outside running their area and their portion of things and just bring us all together, so yeah. Straight
up. How was it to be featured on the compilation album, Fire in Little Africa?
It was dope being a part of Fire in Little Africa. Like, for those of y'all who don't know, it's like it's a commemorative of the 100-year centennial for the Tulsa race riots. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in Oklahoma my whole life, and they don't teach that in those schools. Like, never heard nothing about that until my adulthood right now, like being on that album. Like, so for them to make something commemorative or something like that to happen where black people was like in position, like running their whole city, their area where they was at, and like, these are people who are ancestors of these people who got killed in this fucked up riot, you know what I'm saying? So they got to deal with Motown, and you know, we being considered for Grammy nomination right now. It's been something really big for Oklahoma. Like, we ain't seen nothing that big from where we at. Like, to be able to get a deal off the story of something tragic that happened, it's like, it's crazy, but I think it's powerful because it's like all the dopest people in Oklahoma who do music and rap, like they went and found everybody and put us all on that project and then, you know, presented it to the world like that. And I mean, it's a big deal. It's been everywhere.
That's crazy. That's real, though, at the same time. So, what would you say is the biggest challenge that comes along with being an independent artist?
Financing. Lord Jesus, financing. Hell yeah. It's like you start to learn, like, after you work hard enough and you start to figure out that it don't matter, like, how much footwork you do, how much music you put out, how good the music is, how well you present it. That shit don't matter if you're not shaking the right hands and low-key greasing the right palms. Like, you got to put that money and invest it in the places where it's going to make the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of this shit is like, it's not given to you just because your music is good quality and you work hard. You don't give a fuck about that. That's not a reason to get you a Dirty Glove Bastard interview. Like, are you working hard enough? Like, what is you really out here doing that's worth somebody hearing you out? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the most frustrating part is like you have to finance it all, like every single play. Every single play that you see a lot every day that people think is just because people is great. It's not. It's a money play. You know what I'm saying? Like everything, the smallest shit that you see. Like, I think that's the most frustrating part. I think at some point it gotta get back to where it's like the quality of the music matters. You know what I'm saying? Like I still want everybody to get paid and get their money, but it's like shit. At some point, the shit that's truly good is gonna matter, like years from now. That's the shit that I think is important. I think a lot of that shit is gonna be forgotten. Like, we see one-hit wonders every day and people who had a great 2-3 year run, but it's like, we don't get a Drake every day, somebody who gonna be at the top for 10, 20 years, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't seeing artists like that no more. It's like, a lot of the shit that I love right now, I know that it's not gonna matter later on. Like, I don't know, but independence, I think the most frustrating part is like being able to get the financing to do it, because music don't make no money for real. Like,
well, not for the artists per se.
No, at all right now. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, unless you
Niggas
booming.
be making money off that music.
Like, that's. I'll ask you that later. But yeah, it's like, I mean, just to see it, like the streaming is pennies on the dollars. Like, it don't make nothing. Like, at this level that I'm at in independence, it's like the shows ain't nothing crazy. You ain't making tens of thousands at this level. It's like, you got to keep grinding it out. But it's like, at what point, I don't know, maybe it's shit that I still need to learn. I can't really tell you some shit that I ain't figured out yet. You know what I'm saying? It's like, in my independence, like I said, I'm still on my journey. I'm figuring it out, something new every day, like a way to understand how this works and how I can get myself where I feel like I need to be. But I got to go through trial and error. I can't tell nobody really what it is. It's like right now, for me personally, in the journey that I'm on, shit, I need the money. The way that I want to present it and the way I want to roll it out, I need the bread to be able to do it. That's the most frustrating part for me, is like, creatively, all the things that I want, I feel like I got great ideas and shit that I want to do, but it's like, you know, you got to do the best you can from where you at. Like,
that's the real one. Talk to us about your label, IBA Records.
Yeah, IBA is like my stamp. It's illest bitch alive. You know, I just been out here trying to build it into a situation where it's a label. I'm trying to get my name established to where it's like my stamp will actually mean something. It don't mean shit right now, you know what I'm saying? But it's like in a few years, you never know. But for me, the shit that I love, the good music, the shit that I make, I want to scour the earth and find them people who do what I do like uniquely. It's like I don't see shit like this every single day. Like, what am I getting from you that it's like once in a lifetime? Kind of like with TDE and Rockefeller, like it's just certain labels, Dipset, all of that, who had a run, who was like them artists that they had, I'll never forget them. You know what I'm saying? The way that they presented it, like independently, the way that they bring it to the table. Like whenever I think Dipset, I could see the swag, the jewelry, like all that shit that they did. TDE is like, if I look at each individual artist, none of them do the same thing, and each individually is something I've never seen before. So I want to do something like that with my company. That's my goal. Like once I get the funding and I can move like I want to, I want to get the people who like really out here stuck underground, maybe don't have the funding, like shuffle through the shit, like get back to going to the open mics and seeing who really out here trying to get somebody just to hear them out and hear how good the music is and like give them people to like, you know what I'm saying? That's my goal.
Straight up. So what are some of the goals you got set for yourself over the next 5 years?
I mean, shit, I want what the rest of us want. I want the money, you know, I want homes, I want cars, jewelry, all of that, but it's like, you know, I want the financing to be able to bring like some real shit to the forefront. Like I want to open up like a school of the arts for like kids in areas like where I'm from who like if you into dance, you into music, you into production, like you want to go to film school, like you need a resource to be able to do that. They don't got no shit like that in Oklahoma, so it's like I want to open a school to like those kids to like hone their craft. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to, you know, fund the youth football leagues and shit like that back home, like where it's like kids from the hood whose parents really don't have the money to like sponsor them to do shit like that. It's like I want funding to have my life be a life of service. I want to be able to help other people, like impoverished people who don't got it like that. They need their opportunity too, and it's not a lot of people that's trying to do that. And I feel like we can all build up the community doing shit like that. Not to be on like no woke shit, but it's like it's a lot of people who ain't got no bread who need help, who would be like great if they had resources. That's just the type of person I want to be.
That's the realest shit ever.
I mean, shit.
So what else you working on?
Right now I got an album I'm working on that's gonna be dropping next year. But like I said, with the independence, it's all about funding. I want to make sure that I can present myself and roll the shit out right. So it's like I'm just, you know, honing my craft, trying to grind, man. That's it. Just trying to drop more videos, trying to do more shit like this, pull up out in Atlanta and see what platforms I can get my shit heard on, and just trying to find the people who buy into what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my goal right now, just introducing it to the audience who gonna fuck with it. That's my goal right now.
That's real. Any last words and shout outs?
Nah, man, like I said, illest bitch alive. Fuck who told you otherwise. Dirty Glove Bastards, Enid, Oklahoma.
Gang.
Used to try to play 'em friendly, but I can't no more, no more.